Joining us to help interpret the latest survey is Dr. Ronald Holmes, President of Pulse Asia Research. Good morning, Doctor. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Angelo. Good morning, Angela.
All right. Of course, can you tell us more about the survey? The survey shows that Filipinos trust the media more than the government. Ano po bang ibig sabihin nito?
Well, ang ibig sabihin nito basically is that you had a number of agencies and institutions, organizations that we asked whether Filipinos think that they will be assisting in terms of addressing the problem of corruption in flood control projects. The government institutions the general sentiment will be towards indecision. That's for the Senate, the House of Representatives, the Ombudsman, the ICI. The Department of Public Works is people are more distrusting, majority, 59% distrust. The media, a slight majority trust media. That means information coming from media is deemed as helpful by the public in addressing corruption in flood control projects. Of course, this is just a slight majority, 54%. And civil society is also thought to be, if you go from September to December, also something that positively contributes to the addressing the problem of corruption. So dalawa lang agency, and both of them are not part of government. The ones in government, you have a president that's largely distrusted in terms of his capability. And you have the Department of Public Works also that has to really work harder in terms of regaining public trust.
That's right. Pero Doc, well, given na kasi Doc yung DPWH, no, kasi doon naman ang galing karamihan yung mga scandal. Pero what's interesting to note, yung findings nyo sa ICI, no, it's even lower than the President's yung mga trust ratings regarding the issue. Is this due because sa kabagalan ng pag-process ng mga findings, or it's just that merely kasi halos walang ngipin ang agency? Ano ba ang nasasabi sa survey nyo?
Well, yung pangalawa sinabi mo, no, Angelo, which is really that walang ngipin. At hindi tayo nagsabi niyan. Ang nagsabi niya mismo ay yung dating miyembro ng ICI, dating kalihim ng Department of Public Works and Highway. Siya mismo sa kanyang pagbibitiw na sabi niya na, walang budget at walang kapangyarihan na pilitin yung kanilang mga hinikayat na dumalo sa kanyang pagpupulong. So that's one. Pero yung ICI rito, pati na natin, mas marami ang hindi masabi kung nagtitiwala sila o hindi sila nagtitiwala. So dumami yung bilang na ito. So basically, nananatili siyang mayorya. At tumami yung hindi nagtitiwala dahil nga nagbitiw yung isa.
Yes, oo.
Maliban dyan, nangako silang ila-livestream yung kanilang proceeding, pero pilimpidi lang yung kanilang na-livestream. No? Merong ilang mga proceeding na dapat na i-livestream, pero humiling yung mga mambabatas na wag at hindi nila ini-livestream. So parang bakit ganon? Bakit selective yung live streaming?
Yung gusto ko lang rin puntahan, Doc, yung kay President Marcos. No? Ano yung early findings nyo about how he deals with the issue? Mataas rin ba or mababa na from the start? Kasi karamihan nagsasabi, even if he's trying his best, he's still a Marcos, which is tied to the brand of his father. So parang hindi daw bagay na siya ang maging fighter against corruption.
Well, siya ang nag-expose nito. Pero ibig sabihin nito, pagkatapos siya expose, ay dapat hinahayaan na niya yung mga ahensya, lalong particular na yung ombudsman, although kakaluklok lang talaga ng ombudsman, no? Kaya hindi natin inaasahan na tataas yung pagtitiwala, maaaring magbago yan sa madarating na buwan. Dapat ay parang he will not in any way be involved, and he should not in any way derail any of the processes. So one is that he should not be actively involved. He has given priority to the passage of the bill that calls for the creation of an independent commission with more powers. Let Congress decide that one. Congress will resume its session. And he should not derail the process. No? He should actually make sure that no one remains untouchable, and he should not in any way extend protection to anyone for that matter.
So is it like saying, Doc, yung sumbong sa Pangulo website, dapat wala nang ganon? Basta pag-create ng ICI, let go na siya, tumihimik na si Pangulo?
Well, pwede pa rin niyang i-maintain yan, pwede pa rin niyang, pero ang eventually, ang magde-decide na kung dapat kasuhan yan ay yung ombudsman, no? Or the Department of Justice for that matter. But I think it really would be also the steps taken by the Department of Justice and the ombudsman, whether these are found to be resolute by the public. If there are no charges filed against a big fish, then that will definitely
true.
affect
Yeah.
not only the department's ratings, but also the president, because those who are closely associated with him, if they're given a reprieve from any of the charges, it can be assumed as a way for the president to protect his closest allies or
Right.
closest associates.
Well, to add to what we have been talking about, what is notable here, Doc, no, is yung public trust and the ability of the ICI to address scandal, it's at 18%. While public indecision on whether or not to trust the ICI in dealing with the problem is at its highest at 51%. So why do you think so po?
Yun nga, because the ICI has been less than transparent.
Yeah.
The
Tapos-
ICI, at the time that we conducted the survey, would be down to 2 members.
Yes.
The ICI, basically the ICI has not shown any clear indication of what its results would be. Because you've had more steps taken by the DPWH recommending the filing of charges against its own officials. You have steps taken by the Department of Justice. In that sense, the ICI, relative to those agencies, actually pale in comparison. No? So parang hindi pa nakikita yung resulta eh. Although, I mean, in fairness to them, basically, saddled sila ng wala naman silang budget, so wala silang masyadong tao, wala silang kapangyarihan, so hindi nila pwedeng pelsehin yung mga taong kanilang pinapatawag na talagang pumunta sa ICI. Pag hindi pumunta yan, hindi nila malalaman kung anong katotohanan, hindi nila malalaman yung sagot nila, at hindi nila malalaman kung dapat panugutin yung individual na yan.
Okay, yun din kasi yung tinitignan din natin dito, Doc, ano, yung percentage naman dun sa Office of the Ombudsman. It's 28%, lower than 39% from the previous survey. So, bumababa siya because I think until now, sabi nga nila, wala pang big fish. At yung sinasabi nating big fish like si Zaldico and other involved, ay wala pa rin, hindi pa rin sila naaaresto. Kaya po gano'n na lang yung pagbaba, I guess, ng ombudsman. Tama po?
Bumaba siya, yung trust, pero lumipat na hati no, sa indecision at
Yeah.
saka distrust. So, ibig sabihin, naghihintay yung tao, ano ba pwede gawin ng ombudsman? Ang ombudsman, nagpaliwanag naman siya, no?
Yeah.
Hindi mo pwedeng madali niyang kaso na yan. Kinakailangan
process,
pag-aralan niya mabuti kasi yung certainty of conviction ang kanilang pamantayan sa paghaharap ng kaso sa sino mang individual. Hindi lang yung probable cause, kundi certainty of conviction. Kaya maaari may katagalan. Ang problema ay naghayag ang Pangulo na sa pagdating ng kalagitnaan ng Disyembre, mayroong mga individual na
Ayun.
makukulong na at hindi makakasama ang kanilang pamilya sa pagdiriwang ng Pasko. So, that deadline, the statement that there's a deadline was basically ill-advised for that matter. And people may think that this is also within the purview of the Ombudsman. Although, of course, the Ombudsman is a constitutional agency independent of the President. So, I think the Ombudsman is still in the right place. No? If people are undecided as to whether it is trustworthy or not, the Ombudsman can show the results in the next few months prior to the quarterly survey that we're conducting coming in this quarter.
Yeah.
And let's see. Let's wait and see. I think the attitude towards the Ombudsman is really indecision until it shows proof that it's resolved to really go after anyone and everyone, regardless of their closeness with the president, regardless of their political affiliation.
Yeah.
Would
Doc-
really come into full fruition.
Yung looking at the numbers also, Doc, no, yung sa Senate na medyo mataas siya ng konti, specifically, is this because also of, Senator Ping Lacson is known to be a good scrutinizer and investigator in the Blue Ribbon Committee?
Well, oo, sa Senate medyo mas makataasan kasi nagpapatuloy yung Senate Blue Ribbon Committee although natigil siya dahil doon sa deliberation ng budget. No? So, let's see, because the Senate and the lower house, the House of Representatives will resume their session before the end of the month. And I think the Senate Blue Ribbon will resume its investigations by next week.
19. Oo.
Hopefully, the confidence that the Senate can address this problem of corruption will go back to, well, will go to a majority, no? Given that we know what the record of the chair of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is,
Yes,
Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson.
Okay, so I think, no, kasi sabi niyo po, when the survey was conducted, dalawa ang natitira na lang sa ICI. Pero right now, that there are statements na ICI
Fillers,
must be in limbo, tas nag-iisa na lang yung commissioner nila, there is a possibility na lalong mag-decrease, no, yung approval rating or trust rating ng ICI unless the President tells us kung ano yung magiging plano niya dito sa komisyon na ito.
Well, unless ang presidente nilagyan na ng priority yung pagpasa ng bagong batas tungkol sa Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption, di ba?
Yeah.
May proposed laws, bills in Congress, both the lower house and the upper house on this one. Prioritize ng presidente yan. Sana mapasa ng Kongreso kagad yan. So mawawala na yung dahilan kung bakit kailangan ng ICI, mabubuo ang tunay na independent commission na may kakayanan na mag-issue ng subpoena at mag-cite ng contempt. So sana mapasa ng Kongreso kaagad at ito ang maging dahilan kung bakit manunumbalik yung paniniwala ng tao na mayroong isang ahensya na bago na makakatulong sa pagtugon at pagpapanagot sa mga may kinalaman sa flood controls at anong pang infrastructure scandal or corruption.
And Doc, and looking at also the numbers, no, well, we cannot deny also na I think most of the trust towards the government investigating corruption has to do also with politics. So, nakikita mo ba, Doc, na these numbers fairly may change but very little because we have a Duterte side, we have a Marcos side, and mostly people from the Duterte side will never, no matter anong efforts ng government, will never give a thumbs up of approval in how this government is handling the corruption issue.
Well, pag napakita mo naman na wala kang sinisino at patas ka, hindi naman maaaring punahin ka pa ng kalaban mo. So, sa akin, ang dapat mapakita dito ay pinapanagot nila kahit na sino, walang pinipili, walang pinapakawalan. So, hindi na maaaring gamitin ng mga kritiko mo na ginagawa mo lang yan para maparusahan yung hindi mo mga kaalyado.
So Doc, diretsahin ko na. If President Marcos shows intent on even going after, sabihin na natin, kanyang pinsan, si former Speaker Martin Romualdez, do you think this will then make his trust rating on how to handle corruption jump up higher?
It will not be directly President Marcos, but if the ombudsman finds a reason to file a case against the Speaker of the House,
Damay
former
lahat.
Speaker of the House, who's the second cousin of the President, so that's a signal that the ombudsman does not in any way favor any particular group, regardless of their political affiliation or who they are associated with.
Oo. Well, you would also notice yung big percentage ng trust ng tao sa media, no, in
Yeah.
terms of talking about the flood control mess. And we're talking about not just reports but also yung mga detailed investigative reports that are coming out to show the public kung ano ba talaga yung nangyayari in details dito nga sa flood control anomalous projects. And this is actually contrary doon sa naging perception ng media during the Duterte administration.
Perception ng tao sa media.
Oo, di ba? Perception ng tao sa media na, well, to be fair, iba naman yung pinag-uusapan noon, pero ang laki ng trust ngayon, yung turnaround sa media. Why do you think so?
Well, actually, even in the past, during the Duterte administration, pag tinanong mo kung anong kredibilidad ng mga pangunahing mga himpilan, mataas ang kredibilidad nila eh. Ang problema lang noon ay diretsahang inaatake ng administrasyon dati ang ilang mga namamahayan.
Yeah.
Diba?
And then there are mga netizens na nagbabash. Oo.
So
That's true.
the media institutions, media outfits then, and we continue to survey them in terms of credibility, at least the major networks, including the one that lost the franchise, had credibility. in the eyes of the public with regard to the reporting of news
Yes.
about politics and government. So this is not surprising. Ang ano lang is that I don't know whether this refers to legacy media or the ones in digital media, some of which are not necessarily legitimate and may be sources of disinformation. But to me, this is a good sign because that means
Yeah.
that people think that media is providing the information that allows them to become continually attentive to issues of corruption involving flood control projects. So sana hindi bitawan ng media. Sana
Yes, that's true. And
magpatuloy
ask hard questions.
Oh. Pero Doc, well, it's good to see kasi of course natutuwa kami na appreciated. But ang tanong dito, is this only tied, yung pag-angat sa pagbabalik ng loob ng tao sa media, tied to the corruption issue? Or nagre-recover na talaga as a whole ang media being respected as a source of info?
Well, sabi ko, I think yung media can continue to be regarded as credible even under the Duterte administration. Ang ano lang is that people are much more free to express support for media right now.
Oo.
Yeah,
But I
that's a
don't
good
think media
take,
has lost its credibility. Ang problema lang talaga, yung dati administrasyon, mas merong suppress at saka repressive tendency towards certain elements of media, but not all of media.
Yes.
At ang problema lang doon sa media noon ay merong and it's the worst form of censorship, meron nag-practice ng self-censorship.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with that. Oo, kasi during that time talaga feel free yung mga iba nagbabash ng media, but at the end of the day, during the calamities and of course itong mga issue na to, pandemic, media pa rin yung takbuhan when it comes to credible and factual information. Okay, the question now, Doc, is which area, saan po tayo area nakatutok when we did this survey, and ano po yung mga kumbaga age range po ng mga tinanong po natin nitong survey na to?
So nationally representative yan, we use a multi-stage random sampling, so that means anyone who is 18 years old and above has the same chance of being selected as a respondent. So that means that it is not in any way stratified according to age group. We had 1,200 respondents, the usual survey that we have distributed 300 for each of the sub-national areas. So it covers all age groups, it covers all socioeconomic classes, and education groups depending on education attainment. So across the social demographic characteristics of the adult population in the country.
Okay, so recently po nagkakaroon ng mga balita regarding another cabinet revamp ng Pangulo, do you think kapag nangyari yon, somehow medyo aakyat yung numero ng Pangulo? Or talagang doon lang tayo naka-base doon sa kapag may nahuling big fish, then we can talk again?
Kasi, I don't know how many people are aware of who are in the cabinet.
Completely, yes.
I think it's more important to see what is the government doing that would be improving the quality of my life. And it doesn't matter who's in the cabinet, but if the government is seen as taking action that will improve the material welfare of every individual Filipino, regardless of who is in the cabinet, whether there are 9 people who will be sacked or whether there are 6 or 3 or anyone, it will be the steps that they will take in order to address major concerns, which to me still remain, except for corruption, remain largely economic.
And Doc, lastly, kasi alam naman natin, for every president at the lame duck stage or the tail end of their presidency, the numbers have a somewhat tradition na bumababa talaga. Now, do we see that already kay PBBM na tuloy-tuloy na ang pagbaba as so with other presidents in the past?
Bumaba siya, Angelo, noong March 2025. The lowest that we saw was 25% approval in March 2025. That was after the arrest of Rodrigo Duterte. Medyo naka-recover na siya ngayon. He's up to 30% right now in terms of approval. But that's still low. That's not the figure that you saw in the case of former President Duterte, former President Noynoy Aquino, or even former President Sada. Almost the same figure that we established during the incumbency of former President Arroyo. Now, will he be a lame duck? Maaaring maging measure ng political capital ng presidente itong approval at trust. but hindi natatanggal yung kapangyarihan niya.
Yeah.
At yun ang mahalaga. Kung nagagamitin niya ang kanyang kapangyarihan para maiangat ang kalagayan ng mga Pilipino, di maaari siya makabawi ng kanyang pampulitikang kapital.
All right. With that, thank you very much
you
for
po.
your time and insights, Dr. Ronald Holmes, President of
Maraming
Pulse
salamat.
Asia Research.